was our first What Really Matters segment. First. So a few years ago, there was something that came out that totally helped us in our marriage, but not only did it help in our marriage, we've learned that, we can apply it to a lot of other people, like, whether it's parental relationships, kids relationships, friends, coworkers. So anyway, so our first installment tonight is going to be on relationships, and I'm going to try not to talk the whole time because this very wise man has a lot to say. The biggest thing that we did was learn the 5 love languages. Would you say?
It's very powerful, and it's helped a lot in everything that we've done. It's a constant tool that we refer to.
I learned, if you don't know what it is, we're going to tell you. But the biggest thing that I can say that it helped with, instead of me getting angry with him because I didn't understand what was going on, I could go to him and say, my love tank is empty. And he would go, okay. So we're going to get into that, but we've learned. And
but that one little phrase gave me a volume of information. So when she says that, I've got a lot of information that I can draw from.
And I don't have to be angry and mean, so it works really nice. So, see, who wants to have angry, mean Michelle Adam? Nobody does, right? So it was a big, big deal that I'm reading from my list just so I can make sure I get all 5. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So it speaks to my heart too, but not as much as words of affirmation, which is like, whoa, for me. And he hates words of affirmation with a passion because
I don't mind receiving them. I just don't think about giving them very
He
much.
doesn't. It's really hard for him because he's kind of.
I don't think about it.
He doesn't think, and so then I have to say, baby, do you love me? Baby, do you think I'm pretty? And he'll be like, oh, I got to talk to her.
That again.
That's what he does. But
I don't do that.
tell us what your love language is.
My love language is...
Me, I daily tell him, ooh, I love him, and he's gorgeous, and he's smart, and all kinds of stuff that I can't say to y'all that I would say to him.
And I like it.
And he loves it, but it doesn't mean as much to him as it would if he said it to me. But what's your quality time? What's your...
That's what it is, quality time.
He loves...
I'm easy. Quality time, be with me. You don't even have to be next to me. You just need to be around me.
So how often are we together?
24/7.
24/7. We work together, and we live together, and we do all of our fun stuff together. So there's never a time that we're apart. Not really, ever, that I'm aware of.
Better love you.
So we do love each other, so that helps. But for a lot of people that can be hard, but when you learn some of these techniques on the love languages, it helps. But you can also learn to communicate it where, the way I did, instead of being angry because I didn't feel like I was loved, I can now tell him, because I have my top 2 are words of affirmation and physical touch. So the one thing I can count on for him, for physical touch, without fail, is he holds my hand everywhere we go, or if we're close enough where he can put his arm around me or something like that. And then before we go to bed at night, or while we're in bed at night, when we watch TV, we do the little cuddle thing like that. So the physical touch for me, he does that, but that's secondary. So I still need the words though to really feel the love tank. So
yeah, it's a tank.
It's a tank.
Those 5 things that are in there.
Those 5 things fill your love tank, and
but
so
you can only fill that tank so much unless you get the top in there.
Well, yeah, you got to use the top one. So, his is quality time and then acts of service, which
all you got to do is be with me and do things for me.
And I do all of that.
Sounds like
he's so blessed. He's so blessed. If you've taken this test, if you've taken the test before and you think you know what you are, that's great. But sometimes you change, you grow, you mature, the relationship here grows. And this applies to your kids, to your neighbors, to your coworkers. You can learn, you can tell what somebody is. I can tell you right now when somebody's a words of affirmation, and there's 2 ways. One, they really eat up what you're saying to them when you're being positive, or you really hurt their feelings when you say something negative, even if you're not really meaning to hurt them. But you can just see them kind of didn't really quite grasp that until we started doing this, and then we started applying it to our lives and all this. My friend sent me a text today and said, thank you so much for my card. The words of affirmation are exactly what I needed, and it was God's timing, and he knew it. It was just really important to her. And so you can apply this in so many ways. So the thing that we want to talk about with, and I know I'm talking a lot and I'm sorry, but we kind of knew that's how it was going to go.
Yeah, we knew how that was going to go.
We did. So, now I forgot what I was going to say because I made fun of myself. One of the big topics that we discussed today that Todd talked about was that a lot of times you can see the love languages are derived from maybe your childhood.
Give you a good example?
And go ahead. What's your example?
My thought process was drawing from myself, since I'm a quality time person, and I mean the loosest kind of quality time, the easiest kind. Just be within, if I don't even see you, as long as I know you're there, and you're in the proximity of me. Well, I was also thinking
Which is hurtful because I can just be in the driveway in the car. He knows I'm home.
I know you're
it
there.
fills his love tank. He doesn't even need me in the room.
That's easy.
I'm kidding.
But when I was younger and I was growing up, I was an Army brat. So I went and moved every 3-4 years of my life. And it was kind of dawning on me that permanence was something that was important to me. So whenever I had a chance to feel like I was connected to something, anything, especially when it's people, because that's the thing you lose over and over and over.
And he doesn't connect to people very well.
And so I tend to be a little aloof. And but the one thing I do is when I find somebody I care about, I want them to be with me. And so that little bit of insecurity or that little bit of that I grew up with that I kept missing, I think was a major factor in how I really clung to the fact that quality time is a significant factor in my life. It's not a negative thing. It's just that that's the thing that
But being an Army
like
brat could have been what geared him to have that love language. Because, and you know, who knows why we have certain ones, but, you know, I see gifts and it's like, so maybe a child didn't get to receive very much when they were young. So as adults, it's really important when they get something. You know, so you can kind of think that way as well. But
gifts on your level.
It's the last.
Yeah, me too.
I'm at a 1, but it doesn't mean that I don't want gifts. Cause y'all can give me gifts. I love gifts. I'm just saying, if you tell me words and you touch me, then it's like, what? I'm really over the top. We don't want to go on forever and just bore everybody to death. So I'm going to kind of talk real quickly, briefly. We'll tell you what the love languages are in case they don't really ring with you. And then I want to talk about, you know, the biggest thing in a relationship is to love. And so this is where we kind of get just a tad serious, because there are people who decide they're going to walk out on each other because they've lost their love for each other. And basically it's because their honeymoon period ran out or whatever. And you can tell by my snotty attitude that I just don't get it, you know, when you just walk out. I do think there are reasons for it, but when it's just because you've lost the love. But here's the thing. Love really, I mean, it's an emotion, but that's just the side part, because it's really a choice. I get up every day and say, I love him. And you know what? Sometimes he's a stink pot. And I may not like him at that very moment because he's being a stink pot. I mean, I can be too. So, I mean, there's times he's probably going, oh my goodness, I just need to just talk to the hand. So, you know, you do those things and you realize, okay, but I love him. So that choice was to still work on that. So you have a choice. There are people that's difficult to love. And I'm sure there's been times it's been difficult for people to love me. I'm not perfect. I've got stuff. But you can still love people that's hard to love. And so, you know, this is my scripture, and I am going to read it because I don't have any of this memorized. Okay, so we're going to love the unlovely. And what happens is, it doesn't matter what, you know, there can be people in your life that you are just so angry, and then you harbor it, and then it turns into hate, and then you just don't ever want to see that person again. And it's unforgiveness, but it's also, it just turns in. But you don't have to do that, because we are supposed to love those who are our enemies. But to you who are listening, I say, this is Jesus talking, the red letters, people, so listen to him. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. Luke 6:27-28. So, what are we supposed to do when somebody is just so mean to us? I mean, I feel all the hate and all the rage, and I don't want to be with that person. What is it that I'm supposed to do? I've been talking all this time, so it's your turn.
So keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going. He has no problem with that. Okay, so what do you do?
Sometimes the right answer is just to be silent and listen. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, I thought he was telling me I should be silent. I have to shut it up. Y'all know me better than that. Okay.
I'm rambling on.
So technically, well, you know, here's the thing. When God gives you instructions to start doing stuff like this right here for us, there's usually a reason behind it. And usually you're going to change some stuff. And there's some stuff that God's like, you need to change. And I'm like, no. See, I don't want to, because stay your distance away from me. But that's really not what I'm supposed to do. What I'm supposed to do is love everybody, even the ones that I don't want to. And I'm supposed to pray for them, you know, be kind, do good, all those things that we know as Christians, but it doesn't. So we just need to make sure that love is the biggest thing, and we need to love each other.
What did you learn over all the years that whenever both of us, but you...
Apparently I needed it more than him.
You have an issue out there with somebody, and...
oh, do I?
No, all of us do.
I do. I do.
But each time you went to prayer, you always came back realizing that when you harbor those things, who has to change them?
It's me
Not just
every
you. Whoever
time.
is harboring it is almost always
I know, but it's
to take
me.
the action that you don't want to
It's me on. Okay. I mean, there's so much that we just opened up that we could just go talking forever on.
Yeah. We'll break it down.
But
There's
so
segments.
this world needs love, each other, and you can learn about the love languages, and you can tell usually what other people's are. So I'm going to read them to you, and there was somewhere else I was going, but my brain decided to leave. So we'll get back to that. You want to read?
No.
Okay.
I can't. I don't have my glasses on.
Right there. Words of affirmation. So let's guess what that is. You're going to talk nice to people. You're going to say things like, oh, you're so cute. How could just eat you up? Not really. But, you know, something like that. Physical touch. You know what he does? He holds my hand every day going into the office. We ride to work together, and we walk in holding touch.
And people notice.
They do notice
and
because
it affects other people. We've had many people come up to us, and we're blessed and touched by the fact that
we
we're
keep
just
holding hands.
touching, and we're just adorable, aren't we?
We are so happy. Not all the time, y'all. It's not fake. There are times that we go, I don't like you right now. But that's just sometimes now. It's not like it used to be because we've learned to apply this stuff. And that's why we're wanting to start sharing these things with you. So quality time, we've already talked about it. It's being together. And okay, now the one thing that I'm going to say.
Time and then there's quality
well,
time.
I mean, just being together is not always good enough. You need quality time. But one of the big things is, and I think it's what's helped him with our relationship, I listen to him. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean I just go, So for him, part of his quality time is because I was an active listener. And later.
Not just that she was actively listening, but it's viewed as a sign of respect. And it just embedded in there. We were talking about that at lunch the other day as well. So
right.
It is one of those things that you just you tend to take it for granted. But once you do the test and you realize it, you realize the blessings that you do have.
Right. Okay, so our next one is acts of service, which I learned my youngest son is an acts of service person. So, you know, he would... So I do his laundry still. Y'all don't laugh. I mean, he's 21 and he's... Anyway.
Come on, send her some notes.
I do his laundry from time... Receiving gifts is the last one. So receiving gifts, I mean, who doesn't want a gift, right? But for some people, that is what their love language is. So if you can get the book to try to apply it to your life, try to apply it to you and your spouse or significant other or your children or your parents. And I really think that families, when they can learn it about each other, even just the dynamics of having your sisters and your brothers and your parents and everybody kind of, when you realize what it is, it makes it easier. And I hope that y'all got something out of this and we did okay. We're a little nervous. It's our first one to just do a sit-down chat. We're going to start doing some of these once a week or so and maybe make some videos and different things. That we have a whole world of stuff that we want to cover, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So anything you want to say before I pray?
Talked about a number of things. Yeah, there's probably one thing I want to say, and that is that in keeping with the discussions about love and lifting each other up, I just wanted to point out, you were mentioning that as you've grown over the years, especially as you've gotten involved with Unique, that you're finding yourself more every day. And there's probably nothing more valuable than having your loved one, in this case my wife, my wonderful, beautiful wife, be able to be more emboldened every day, to find who she really is, to bring out that person that's inside that has been hidden for so many years, that was held down by insecurities or words that that kept her boxed in. I love watching her come out and blossom, and I see so many things that we're going to be talking about that have affected our lives, and it's a kind of treasure that you almost want to covet because it's so precious and it's so special that the gift as it unwraps every day that's an act, that's a gift that I want every single day. So it may be at the bottom of my list of the love languages, but it really is the top of my list if we're talking about you unwrapping yourself for me and for the world every day.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, so now we're really officially wrapping this up. I want some feedback. Go to my comments or go to our messages. Talk to him because he's tagged in here. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if there's topics you want to hear because,
sure.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff and we just feel like we're at the beginning of something God would like to see us do. So we're kind of excited about this. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.